Hello and a warm welcome to the all-new Cupra Tavascan. Premiering just a year ago, it quickly gained popularity. We already showed it in static mode, and today here near picturesque Barcelona, we have the very first exciting chance to drive it and take you along with us, letting you experience the thrill firsthand. That means in this video we show it outside, show it from the inside. And then it's essentially about driving it, experiencing it, and seeing what qualities the Cupra Tavascan has, but perhaps also what weaknesses it might have. We want to explore this with you in this video. Please check if you are part of an electrical community. If not, we'd love your support with a subscription. And now let's get started with the brand new Cupra Tavascan. And as always, we begin from the outside, starting from the front, taking a look at the front section of the electric SUV from Cupra, and with that, a warm welcome to the brand new design line. At the center is, of course, the huge Cupra logo, which naturally stands proudly and shows the self-confidence of the Cupra brand, which has only been around for 6 years, but has made notable strides in the automotive market. Cupra is right here in the front again, and we have a completely closed front end except for some air intakes at the bottom because it's designed as a purely electric vehicle. It's built on the MEB platform, where you already know the VW ID4, ID5, the Audi Q4 e-tron, and the Skoda Enyaq. And on this platform, Cupra is the latest variant featuring a range of new updates, but it's produced in China. Whether that's a disadvantage or not, feel free to write it in the comments, because as we can see here, we get very, very good quality, at least when it comes to panel gaps. When it comes to paint processing, I am aware that sometimes you also handle it somewhat critically. I'm curious about how you guys feel about that particular detail. Yeah, we've got some big fat wheels here, 21 inches, 255 40 R21, nice and black, perfectly matching the overall design. Radiant rims, retuned with copper notes to a length of 4.64 meters, providing a wonderfully balanced structure. Flush door handles, and what I really like is this sleek design line right here. Cupra is sporty, Cupra is rebellious, daring and bold, as they say themselves. And Stefan, if you go behind this mirror with the camera, you can see very clearly that the shape exactly matches the design. And so, in principle, and you can see it in the rearview mirror, it just exemplifies the hindsight brilliantly. Yes, it's an SUV coupe, which means we have got a nice and sleek sloping roofline back here, thereby further enhancing the design. But I can tell you that in advance. Still plenty of trunk space, and we have here sort of like a small duckbill, a little spoiler, which of course is supposed to provide downforce and naturally also for aesthetics. This time we don't have a rear spoiler, Stefan. Yeah.
And I also don't see a rear wiper.
Yes, very nice. That wouldn't be beneficial for the design line or its overall appeal either, in my opinion. Yes, if we zoom out just a bit to the full view, then you'll see this incredibly beautiful rear section come into sight once again. Highlights include, of course, the three-dimensionality of the LED taillights, with the highlight being that the Cupra logo also lights up in red. And naturally, the confidence, of course, is highlighted and emphasized again with the bold lettering here. And we've got the VZ, meaning it's the strongest variant so far. What that means in kW, horsepower, Newton meters, and performance parameters, we'll explain to you in great detail very shortly here as well. It's 4.64 meters long, 1.59 meters high, so it is relatively sporty and flat for an SUV, giving it a sleek appearance. I am 1.85 meters tall, he's 1.84 meters wide, including the side mirrors, so he exceeds 2 meters, and the wheelbase is 2.72 meters, which is fairly standard for vehicles of this type. Yes, in between there's the battery pack, 82 kilowatt hours gross, 77 kilowatt hours net usable, and it's charged here via the charging port. On one hand, 3-phase AC, so with alternating current at home, at the wall box or public station, with a max power capacity of 11 kilowatt, sufficient for most domestic needs. So we need about 7.5–8 hours to charge the battery from completely empty to full, and with DC, that is with direct current at fast charging stations. Then with up to 175 kilowatt, we know that from software updates in the VW group. And then we end up somewhere around, if all goes well, between roughly 26 and 28 minutes when charging from 10% all the way up to a satisfying 80%. Yes, VZ, I promised you, that's a lot of power. We have a motor on the rear axle that drives the rear axle. We have a motor on the front axle, driving the front axle. Combined all-wheel drive, a total of 250 kilo, 340 horsepower, and 545 Newton meters. Torque acceleration from 0 to 100 km/h, then in just 5.6 seconds, and top speed we have right here is 180 km/h, highlighting the impressive engineering. I find it almost a bit of a shame with such a high-performance car, Stefan, don't you?
I would also prefer the 200 degrees.
And the curb weight is at approximately 2.25 tons, so with us, probably more like 2.4 tons when fully loaded.
Or does he have a bit to tug?
Let's thoroughly check if Cupra might have made any significant changes here at the Tavascan. No, unfortunately they did not. First we have this beautiful small little stick right here in our hands at the moment. I very clearly remember that from my 93 Golf. I kind of miss those old hood struts, honestly. I'm missing a bit of a cover here since we also have a motor inside. We've always been able to absorb some noises, even from the air conditioning. And what I truly miss the most is the wasted space in the form of a frunk. I'm hoping the aftermarket will offer something there as an added accessory. To create another frunk here so you don't have to carry around dirty charging cables, which can be inconvenient in bad weather, keeping your car clean. Yeah, let's listen in carefully to how Chinese sounds, shall we?
3, 2, 1.
Ah, very full. And look, Stefan, see how nicely this is set off right here with this impressive power dome, don't you think? So, Cupra really puts in the attention to detail. Much more interesting for you than the frunk is the trunk, and on the Tavascan, it opens electrically, as it should. And then you get 540 liters of trunk space. That's substantial, and it comfortably provides the storage space you need to travel with 3 or 4 people, along with all their luggage and additional gear for their journey. We have a double loading floor, where we can nicely put in the charging equipment, and below there's a small compartment where another charging cable comfortably fits, and on the left and right you will also find pockets where something could easily fit. Yeah, what I like is that Cupra has installed a center armrest here, not just any center armrest, but one that you can fold down, which is really convenient because you can load long items or skis in the winter, for instance, making it perfect for those cold weather adventures. That's awesome. We can add 40% on the driver's side and 60% on the passenger's side with the flap, giving us 540 liters of storage, which is ample for trips, errands, and various activities. With this capacity, there's plenty of space for daily use and longer journeys, making it convenient. I would guess, don't pin me down on the numbers, but it could be around 1,200, 1,300 liters of storage capacity. And if you ever have a large item and remove the shelf, I'm quite sure that alone should be enough space for you. And with 2 carry-on suitcases, the 540 liters already look quite full, although you can also stand them upright to fit more luggage inside. Yeah, you guys can guess if this is my suitcase or Stefan's, or if it's Stefan's suitcase or maybe mine, since we tend to mix them up sometimes. I'm curious to see who of you guesses correctly who owns which suitcase. Yeah, what opens electrically?
Closes electrically.
That's how it has always been. What we unfortunately can't tell you, because we are missing a data sheet from Cupra's, is the roof load. Don't know? Usually we have a tow load of about 75 kilograms. I hope that will come with the Tavascan as well. And where we haven't found any details yet because we don't have a data sheet is the trailer hitch, right?
Yes, but with that device, you could actually expect to be able to hang on to it, yes.
I mean, yes, with the ID5 from memory, it was a ton. With the all-wheel drive variants, 1.2 tons. That would just be crazy if they didn't do that with the Tavascan, but maybe they don't want it for the looks, right? Indeed, it would be a true shame for all our Dutch friends and everyone else out there who might want to tow a trailer for their adventures.
Let's say it's more realistic that there's something for it.
And consider the bike day carriers. Cupra, you really need to step up and provide us with some additional useful information, please. Just clarify the specific details, please. Outside, we showed you everything. Let's look inside. And here we have very, very nice, even if the glass curves like this, double glazing. 2 discs connected with 1 disc, so we want to try out how the sounds inside will affect it later in the experiment. But what's really more important for you is the interior paneling of the doors. And I have to say, Cupra does set itself apart a bit from the VW group. On one hand with detail, and on the other, I find the mix of materials. Up here, we have a somewhat harder plastic, but it's softly foam padded for comfort. Let's go over it again. Here's a plastic surface, but it's nicely textured. Here's a plastic that's typically copper colored in a kind of copper tone. Here we have a microfiber fabric. It could also be a neoprene material. I like it. Again, it's soft, somewhat rubbery, and has a bit of a springy feel to it. I think that's all perfectly fine. But down here, Command from Volkswagen Group has hard plastic, which somewhat detracts from the quality of the interior. This is clearly the option to fit a large bottle of water in without any issues. But here, nothing's foamed again. No carpet, no rubber, no nothing. Perhaps you might need to cut something yourself to properly make it fit the exact dimensions required. Works too, right? If the manufacturer doesn't do it.
Sure, some old carpet down there.
Welcome to the interior of the Cupra Tavascan VZ, and as always, we will start our tour chronologically, exploring every feature. We have a head-up display, which is very large, which is fast, which is nicely spacious, and which I even think we still need to try it out, also partially works with augmented reality. guidelines. We have a truly nice tactile multifunction steering wheel. It feels very, very good. I don't know though if it's real leather or faux leather. Behind it, there's certainly an infotainment display resembling the ID series shape, providing a visually impressive and sophisticated experience. But here we have some more independent grips. Then also with the shift lever, the multifunction buttons, they're tactile. And then we have, typical for Cupra, the option to switch gears here, and also for the drive modes. That means you can basically get traction here for off-road. You have the range mode for distance, you have the comfort mode for cruising and relaxing on those extended long trips. There's a new mode to help get more overall performance from your system. And of course you have the Cupra mode if you want it to be even more dynamic and maybe want to take it on a racetrack. And last but not least, in case it's not enough for everyone, there's also the possibility to set it individually. Otherwise, we have the Cupra Quick Access button here again. It is very important to quickly switch to Cupra mode. This is especially crucial during overtaking maneuvers in order to achieve maximum power. In the center, there's this very, very beautiful big infotainment display. I would say it's about 14, 15 inches. Feels huge in size, so it has become really big. Here we can also use these handy sliders right here to precisely and accurately adjust the temperature. We have the volume controls here for the audio. We will test them later. And we have here very, very nicely placed, centrally, always staying visible, the climate menu to manage the climate. Yes, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, we have them on board. You can see it here very, very nicely. Then shown generously one more time accordingly. This is now the phone from Cupra. And there's really not much else on it that stands out, making it seem rather ordinary. And then we have a nice menu structure here with a bit of colorful background. I think it's really, really great. And you have a spectacular home screen you can customize to your preferences and style. Yes, navigation, that's all pretty fluid and extremely smooth. You see here, it certainly goes out right here. So you see, we are here in Spain, southwest of Barcelona. There's Ionity here as well. And look, Stefan, VW is really doing great now. So with Cobra, right? I mean, Cobra Goethe to VW, right? But I have to say, honestly, hats off, right?
Yes, he does well.
This plastic cover on the car's dashboard is also incredibly very nicely done and beautifully designed. I can get used to this. It's plastic, not leather or faux leather, but it feels high quality. That looks visually good. Then we have this copper colored line here, basically another curve here. And I think opinions differ among you about this because on one hand, it's a visual highlight in terms of design, but on the other hand, of course, also a bit of the view and blocked access to the compartment back here. What do you think, Stefan?
So visually, I really do like it quite a lot. Functionality, yeah, opinions are definitely divided on this matter.
What do we have here? Here we have an effective way to show you from the side how to charge inductively, step by step. Next, a small storage compartment for extra space. Then we have 2 cup holders handy for holding your drinks securely. And here we also have in this plastic cover a very, very large storage compartment for various items, making it extremely convenient. Look, Stefan, how deep it goes in here, even underneath the cup holder. So there's plenty of room here. My small bag would fit in here too. Stefan, where's my man bag?
That's primarily because of the specified 8-kilo limit for your carry-on luggage.
Did I leave my man purse? In Berlin?
I stayed in Berlin, yeah. I'll buy you a comb later.
The view through the side door, then here at the passenger side, shows again very, very nicely that we have some kind of high area down here. I'm missing some kind of storage space here.
Yeah, especially an edge on the sides.
Yeah, just like with my Mercedes EQS back then, There was always plenty of room for another handbag in there, which made it perfect for all my shopping trips. I find that a bit unfortunate because everything just slips through the cracks, especially when driving fast. You see very, very clearly. Then the inductive charging pad with a few options on the left and right to stash some stuff. Yeah, otherwise we have very, very nicely shaped sports seats here, designed to offer both comfort and support. We have here on one hand like a faux leather neoprene fabric. I don't even know what that's supposed to be exactly. Here, a microfiber, but a bit more breathable. Again, with this Cupra triangle copper color, I think it's very, very chic, very, very well made. And I must say, they really do have a very, very excellent sense of dedication and commitment. Ergonomics, we have excellent lateral support, a good thigh surface, well-padded shoulder pads, and an extremely comfortable seat. And here again, the integrated headrest, which can't be adjusted with this Cupra triangle. Pretty nice, right?
Yeah, I like the color mix. Love this copper tone. Cupra nails it, making it stand out brilliantly.
And with that combined with the dark blue outside, it gives it a fascinating sort of mysterious allure.
Physical contact, definitely, yes.
Yes, we have a glove compartment. Unfortunately, somehow, with all due respect, it's missing felt or carpet. This entire section is all hard plastic right here too, and also down here you have hard plastic as well. Where they really put in a lot of effort, as always, is with the doormat. It also has all the essential information on it, but where there's this hard plastic again, I don't fully get the point of it. It's like here in the door entry where it just doesn't seem to make much sense. That looks really quite rickety. Look, maybe the seatbelt buckle rattles on the cobblestones over here. Just gently pull the headliner down a bit, and then it's perfectly fine, right?
Absolutely. However, they do have a third child ISOFIX at the front for better convenience.
That's obviously great that we have 3 child ISOFIX mounts here. And what I find even cooler is, of course, this giant, big, beautiful glass roof, right? Yeah.
That's great.
So the rear passengers can definitely see the true night sky through the sunroof and not just some artificial one, like in a Rolls-Royce Spectre, which uses LED lights to mimic stars, right?
Yeah, that's nonsense. Let's do it right.
And what naturally fits Spain and the summery temperatures is a nice sunshade, so you don't get this double hot plate effect when the sun beats down on your head, right? Yeah. Last but not least, we want to test the seating arrangement in practice. I am 1.85 meters tall, 99.9 kilograms, 9 kilos heavy, and can of course elegantly slide into the Cupra here. The view from here clearly shows I'm seated like I'm nestled in Cupra's lap, doesn't it?
Yes, fits.
Exactly. We have a nice center armrest here with 2 cup holders, but the ergonomics always bother me a bit. What also bothers me is that the backrest doesn't come all the way up here because maybe, due to my build, I'm a bit of a seat giant. I would have wished for a bit more there. Yes, child ISOFIX mountings, driver and passenger, which means the seat design extends from the front to the back, but unfortunately not. I already mentioned that in the Formator. I mentioned it back then with Tavascan during the static recording. I wanted a Cupra, highly performant, offering more thigh support and better lumbar support. Also, adding heated seats and potentially memory functions would enhance overall comfort significantly. Here in the lumbar area, it's good. I mean, you don't slide around as much as you usually do, but here in the thigh area, you could use a bit more support. Permitted? Yes. Otherwise, we indeed have excellent space conditions here for a 4.64 meter SUV. Also, due to the electrical design, we have air vents here. We have here, now the car is off, then also a 3-zone climate control. We even have seat heating, probably optional in the rear, which I find really awesome, and 2 USB ports down there to charge something. We don't have a drive shaft tunnel here, nothing. The seats are very, very nice. Also from the back, covered here with a pocket. The only thing I miss here, which I think we had in the ID series from VW, were these small insert pockets here. Yeah. Exactly. That you could put your smartphone in there or something similar. That would have been another highlight. But otherwise, I have to say, I have nice headroom here despite the coupe shape and can sit comfortably, appreciating the design balancing style with space. Well, I think with the Tavascan, especially with its 340 HP, you can definitely go for a nice drive, right?
Definitely.
Exit was the keyword. We're done outside, we're done inside. Now let's get started. We want to experience the Tavascan with you and are coming to the big driving report. We initially started off with the Cupra Tavascan VZ, just driving through. The small village. I must say it's got instant power.
That's right. That's also a coupe.
No, but you can change that by just pressing the button here.
That isn't.
The only thing that's very common here in Spain are these speed bumps.
Yeah, these speed bumps.
But look, he already instinctively handles the throttle. That's good.
He wants to move forward.
We want to measure the interior noise together with you at 50 km/h. 59.60 decibels. That's pretty quiet. Let's accelerate. Oops, we're already too fast. Up to 70 km/h. But it has power too.
Yeah.
61.62 decibels. That's a great value. And we're going to accelerate straight through now because we're on the Autostrada up to 100 km/h. 63, 64 decibels. So Cobra did a great job on insulation, keeping the noise levels low. That's also a nice, quiet road surface here, which all I think plays a bit of a role. Yeah.
Those are really good numbers.
Chapeau. On the highway, we also have the opportunity to thoroughly test the multiple functionalities of the travel assist here, of course, at an average speed of 100 km/h. And I can tell you, it holds the lane's middle very, very steady, and does so with an impressive amount of precision. We absolutely know that from the ID3, the ID4, the ID5. It is the same cutting-edge technology from the group. In my opinion, he really is market-leading, especially with the Pro version, which offers advanced features and functionality. where we then also have the predictive control, where it not only reads the traffic signs, but also predictively integrates them into the navigation, into the route, into the path, so to speak. That means, let's take an example, the speed reduces to 70, he then also drives 70 at the sign, it's over and back to 100, and then he drives again. Accelerated and drives 100 again. So this is a brilliant and wonderful thing, which works throughout the entire VW group. So with VW, Cupra, Audi, Skoda, and of course also Porsche, enhancing integration and providing seamless user experiences. In the new Tavascan, Sennheiser is now on board, and I must say, Sennheiser has truly come up with a really incredible and impressive sound system that offers outstanding quality here. You hear and experience this very, very clearly, full highs, mid-range, and really strong bass, right? So I think in the price range under 60,000 euros, it's one of the best sound systems around. Absolutely, it's really fun. Many of you might actually not even require the VZ version, meaning the all-wheel drive with 250 kW and 340 horsepower output, despite its impressive performance. Cupra will later offer a rear-wheel drive version for you, of course with 210 kW, 286 PS, which will also feature the new generation of electric motors from Volkswagen from the MEB platform. Then moves in. That is, of course, undeniably a great and compelling story as well, because it also should result in significantly improved efficiency, which we will later try to accurately gauge by meticulously checking the consumption over an extended period. Important for an SUV, of course, is also its turning circle. We found a nice roundabout near Barcelona where I can drive efficiently around Stefan, allowing us to thoroughly assess and evaluate the car's handling capabilities. This is really quite practical and useful here, and you can clearly see the agility and effectiveness in action. I think that's a solid 11 meters with the Tabasco sauce. After the turning circle comes parallel parking, and of course we can handle that right here for you as well. Additionally, we also have a 360-degree camera system installed in our test vehicle for extra support. We're familiar with this, it's nicely represented also up front here. You can see it towards the front end, that's why I drove a bit slower now, and also towards the rear, but somehow it's a bit grainy.
Yes, it isn't really very nice out now.
Yeah, I don't know now either what the cause is here, if it's because of the weather. A really nice option available here is to widen it up quite nicely and thoroughly. Then course park assist if you don't want to park yourself, where the car handles it for you by steering, braking and maneuvering into tight parking spots.
Ah, cool.
And then even a cleaning function for the camera. It gets better.
It's getting better now.
Easy, right? Yeah. The Spanish traffic really plays its part, but with 250 kilowatt, we're also able to swiftly get up to 100 in no time. Yeah.
Ice cold.
5.6 seconds and just about the punch from 0 to 50. It really picks up some pace, don't you think? Yeah.
I hope it presses them into the seats a bit.
Stefan, let's talk about travel comfort, and there's the famous Stefan popometer. What's it saying about our current travel methods?
I'm sitting comfortably, so the seats are good. Also, these side supports in the back could have been a little bit more noticeable, especially when you're in Cupra mode. But it's convenient, really, so...
I like it, yes. I have to say the steel suspension here in the Cupra Tavascan VZ is very, very decent and has an exceptionally nice, firm yet comfortable ride quality that makes every journey feel smooth and enjoyable, even on more difficult and uneven roads. And especially if you actually try to do a bit of slalom driving here, you will clearly notice that the car doesn't stay horizontally stable like other SUVs, and thus also has a very nice, unique dynamic that makes it really quite enjoyable. Sporty, direct steering, especially when you initiate a change of lane for a smoother drive. I think the Tavascan really makes a solid impression and is, I believe, also extremely comfortable for long distances, despite those performant rebellious genes.
Absolutely, and especially the expansive and wide open space, as it's really quite fun. You can even take a relaxed fourth lap too. And
what I also like, Stefan, is that when you switch to Cupra mode, which is the most performance-oriented of the performance variants, then you won't just get hit with some generic electro sound, which would not be very appealing.
I noticed that too. No sound composer here to fake you out with a roaring engine.
Well, why not? Because electric power is always right there, with all the impressive 545 Newton meters ready to be unleashed. And you don't need to do that through sound composing now, do you?
Nee,
Right,
gar
no.
nicht, überhaupt nicht.
And that brings us to the all-important question. So is the Cupra Formentor VZ driver going to be the future Tavascan driver when the time comes? Or does it come from another manufacturer, like AutoStall?
Well, how will they be? What do our viewers think?
I'm curious to know your personal thoughts. Is the Cupra Tavascan, so to speak, an interesting car for you to consider? Or do you think there are better options? Especially if coming from a combustion engine or another electric car. How do you perceive this exciting new Spanish temperament taking over the market? I promised you, we'd be talking about overall consumption. And I have two significant figures for you to consider. Namely, for one thing, this car has 1341 kilometers. You can see that on the right as a long distance value. This is basically just a test car, a press car, that's always pushed to its absolute limits, Stefan, right? Yes.
Actually, yes, the colleagues are here now.
And here it shows 22.6 kilowatt hours over 1322 kilometers. Now that's certainly not a top value, but considering that everyone stepping on the pedal here I think is totally fine, and where I reversed, we have, of course, driven more after the reversal. Already driven 79 kilometers, average speed 50 km/h. Please keep in mind that here around Barcelona, it's usually a maximum of 80 or 100 km/h. That puts us at 18.8 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers for Fawn-like. Yes?
Now you've got that grin on your face again. What a great electric car enthusiast you are.
Has yet again delivered quite a remarkably good value right here.
What will happen tonight in the big round?
Wird das wieder ausgewählt?
What we need to discuss again, that was addressed at 18.7.
Ach, guck mal.
Let's get to the final and detailed conclusion with the Cupra Tavascan VZ and the comprehensive first drive experience right here. I have to say, I'm pleasantly surprised. You can really notice it here even on such a bumpy track. Nothing rattles here, nothing hisses. Everything is really extremely well made. That's precisely why I'm really curious to see how you rate the fact that this car is being built in China. We carefully checked out the paint and we thoroughly checked out all of the panel gaps. That's all. Honestly, just great, especially with the 250 kW 340 HP. It has, of course, endless power. That also makes it genuinely fun to drive it in an appropriately performance-oriented manner or style. If that's too much and a rear-wheel drive is sufficient, I think it would be enough for me in terms of power. There's then optionally 210 kW with 286 HP. And you've seen the efficiency that I think later, when we get to experience it in Germany and do our consumption test at 100, 120, 140, 160 km/h, that I think attractive values can come out. Yes.
Promised it. Let's see.
Should have range, I heard. I think under 500 kilometers. Also, I believe there isn't an exact WLTP value yet for the all-wheel drive. Rear-wheel driven, I think even over 500 kilometers. And especially in summer, I could imagine if you drive carefully with the accelerator that we could achieve that.
I think so. That's realistic, yes.
And so we hope, of course, that the Tavascan will be available for order soon. And then, hopefully for you too, it will be readily available very soon at any nearby Cupra dealer of your choice, offering you the best possible experience. I think this is a car that pleasantly stands out from the other VW derivatives if you're looking specifically for something sporty that also has a unique and eye-catching design, Stefan. Wouldn't you agree, right? This vehicle clearly distinguishes itself from the rest.
Yeah, kind of rebellious, right?
That's kind of the marketing slogan, I believe, from Cupra. However, you may take that, it really is real. And it additionally fits well with the Tavascan context. If you're looking for something that's not seen on the street every single day, something that truly makes a great impression, then I firmly believe with the Tavascan on the MEB podcast, you're the most up to date and you will definitely stand out.
Absolutely. For those who prefer it a bit sportier, definitely, yeah.
We are finally back at Cupra and unfortunately must say goodbye to the amazing, versatile Cupra Tavascan. I sincerely hope you enjoyed watching the entire video and make sure to give it a big thumbs up. But we still have a chance to show you the new and exciting Cupra-born VZ, so to speak, as the sportiest and perhaps the most advanced version of the entire Cupra-born lineup, which is truly thrilling. That's why it's important to check again if you have simply commuted parts electrically. If not, we'd be happy if you subscribe to us, and then you won't miss the Cupra-born either. Thanks for watching, stay healthy, and see you soon. Yours, Ollie. Hey, Stefan. When I see this gray-gold metallic shade right next to it, I find that I just can't make up my mind about it. Do I prefer the blue one or do I prefer the other one, right? What do you say?
I don't know either.
Feel free to write in the comments how you see it. Bye.